Hey, VC, it's Jonathan, a cheap and cheerful record collector. I know I did a video recently which showed my music room, but even since then, which was only a couple weeks ago, things have changed around quite a bit. I went and bought another 2x4 Calyx at IKEA and moved some things around, so I thought I'd just do a quick show of how things have changed in my music room since my last video. Let's swing it around, and let me get back further, you can see better. That's what I have. Some of the records there. And there is the new 2x4 over in the corner. I took the turntable and stereo, which was on the top of the rack over there, and got this rack, which actually was sitting in the garage, and cleaned that up and put the turntable, amp, and CD player on that. So I have much shorter cable from the speakers, put my speakers there, and then the rest of the room is pretty much the same, nothing different there. I got my 5x5 there full of records, and over in the corner is a little bit of CDs that I have. But yeah, that's the new situation. I sort of like having this turntable on that rack there, right in the middle. Looks really good. And because I got the new 2x4 over there in the corner, I was able to get out all my compilations and box sets and 10 inches, which I had in the closet. So glad to have that all done out now. And I can start listening to them, things I sort of have been ignoring for a while. And let's swing this around, and there you go. Okay, so done some shopping recently, bought some new stuff. So I thought I'd show that. But before I do that, I got a quick story to tell. Yesterday, I was with my buddy Brian from Shamrock and Records. I don't know if you know him, but if you don't, check his channel out. We went up to Brunswick, Maine, and we go to this record store, which is called Vinyl Haven. And it's a really pretty dirty, schmutzy store, things everywhere, and they don't price anything. So you have to find what you want, take it up to the guy. He then looks it up and decides what the price he feels is reasonable. And sometimes you can sort of negotiate with him and get the price you want, whatever. He also has a full basement, which is really even more dirty, but has a couple thousand records in the basement. So yesterday, Brian and I went down to the basement, and we're digging around, and I found a couple things, and he comes up to me really quietly. He goes, "I can't believe what I found. Look what I found." I said, "What'd you find?" So I look at it, and it's a Led Zeppelin 2, and he takes the record out. It's a white label promo, double RL on both sides. This is an extremely rare record. I mean, if you know records, which you do, obviously, this is, I mean, it's so rare. You never find it, let alone find it in a basement, in a store, mixed in with all sorts of other, with lots of crap. So he went upstairs, he negotiated, he got it for a price he felt was reasonable, which it really was, and it's worth about, not quite 10 times what he paid for it, but good 8 times what he paid for it. So he was really ecstatic, and I don't have it to show you, I wish I did, but all of them, we went and got lunch, and he was like freaking out the whole time that he got this really rare double RL white label promo Led Zeppelin 2. Pretty amazing. I've been doing some shopping recently and found some things I thought I'd show. So let me grab them. I'll be back in 1 second. So one of the first things I got is a record I've sort of been looking for on and off. Not like high on my list, but if I saw it at a good price, I'd grab it. And I'm glad I was able to find it. And it's a Rye Cooter. And this is his album Showtime from 1976. This was recorded in San Francisco at the Great American Music Hall. This is the tour I saw him on at the Bottom Line in New York City. What a great show that was, with a Flaco Jimenez on accordion. And he does School Is Out, Alimony, Dark End of the Street, How Can a Poor Man Stand Such Times as These, and ends up with Smack Dab in the Middle. Just a great, great album. There was a lot of ringwear, obviously, but the record's in really clean condition, and it wasn't expensive, so that was really good. Glad I got that. Also, this one was a little more money, but I couldn't pass it by. It was on the holy wall of one record store in downtown Portland. I walked in and saw this and had to have it. And it's the Tony Rice Unit. This is the album Acoustics. This is from 1979, and it's with Sam Bush, Richard Green, and David Grisman on a couple of cuts. This one is almost more jazz grass instead of newgrass, but it's fantastic. Even does a song 4 on 6 by Wes Montgomery on here. So, beautiful album on the Kaleidoscope Records label. I don't know if you've seen Kaleidoscope, but that's their label. Yeah, really good album. I love that newgrass, and I especially love jazz, so this sort of jazz grass is right up my alley. So, really happy to get that. Another one I found, this is a 1927 to 1934 violin jazz with Joe Venuti. Joe Venuti and his guitarist Eddie Lang sort of had the same Django and Stefan Grappelli kind of sound to them. Great musicians on Yazoo Records. Yeah, that's easy to see. On Yazoo Records, it's upside down. I'm sorry. Yeah, Yazoo Records. Eddie Lang died very young, 30 some odd years old. He great, really early pioneer of jazz guitar. He went into the hospital to have a tonsillectomy and never came out. Died in the hospital, 1930, whatever. So really sad, but a great guitar player. And Joe Venuti, wonderful violin player. So this is a great album. Glad to have that to my collection. Got a couple jazz albums locally. These are all things I got in local stores here in Portland. Tate with Buddy Tate and Clark Terry with Tommy Flanagan on piano, Larry Gales on bass, and Arthur Taylor on drums. This is on the Prestige Swingville. It's an OJC. Came with the original OJC sticker, and the original price, as you can see, $5.98. And it's on the Prestige Swingville label. Really great bop jazz. This is the 1980s repress. I should have looked it up, but I don't have the date it was originally released. But yeah, the 1980s repress on OJC. Sounds freaking beautiful. And love Clark Terry, Buddy Tate, and Tommy Flanagan. Great jazz album. Another one I picked up on Blue Note, and it's Jackie McLean on alto sax, Blue Mitchell on trumpet, Walter Bishop Jr. on piano, Paul Chambers on bass, and Art Taylor on drums. Again, 1980s pressing, Blue Note. Again, more bop jazz, really good. Really love this one. And this was called Cappuccino Swing. Cappuccino's a monkey. There's a monkey right there on him. So yeah, Jackie McLean, Cappuccino Swing. And this one was sealed when I got it. And again, this doesn't have a date on it. I think it's the 1980s. Discogs didn't give you an exact date, but it's Tina Brooks. And this is his album True Blue with Freddie Hubbard on trumpet, Duke Jordan on piano, Sam Jones on bass, and Art Taylor on drums. What a great album. Again, on the regular Blue Note label. But again, bop jazz, just wonderful. Really happy to add those jazz albums to my collection. It seems to me nowadays, the more jazz I listen to, the more jazz I want to listen to. Then there's a place up in Windham, Maine, maybe the last Radio Shack still in existence. The front of the store is like a basic Radio Shack, fairly empty, but he still has the Radio Shack name on it. And in the back of the store, he has thousands of records. But 90% of the records he has back there are all 1950s Connie Francis, Frankie Avalon, Neil Sedaka, and multiple copies of each. And I spent so much time going through all this crap And jazz, all he has is new age jazz, no good jazz at all. But everything is really inexpensive, so I kept looking, and I did find the first Rodney Crowell album for $3. That was really a decent bargain, I think. Love Rodney Crowell. I haven't had a chance to spin this one yet, but I see on here Vince Gill is on here with him. Albert Lee is on guitar, a couple of cuts. So yeah, looking forward to this. And this is on Warner Brothers, regular Warner Brothers label, nothing special there. But yeah, Rodney Crowell, if you don't know Rodney Crowell, country singer. I think he was married to Johnny Cash's daughter for a while there. Also, in that group of records there, I found Tracy Nelson. This is her album, Sweet Soul Music. Tracy originally started out in the village folk singing as a folk singer, then was in the band Mother Earth, which put out a couple of great albums in the early 70s to the early 80s, I guess. This one is from no date. That's okay. It's really good. Good album. Sweet Soul Music. Love her voice. Real gruff. Real bluesy. My kind of thing. All right, so yesterday when my friend Brian found that amazing find, I found some records there too. These are what I picked up. This is an album, Slam Stewart and Bucky Pizzarelli, Dialogue, the studio series. Slam Stewart, obviously a bass player, Bucky Pizzarelli, amazing guitar player, and on Stash Records. Haven't had a chance to spin this yet. I just haven't even cleaned them yet. I got to clean some of these. It's on Stash Records. So I'm looking forward to giving this a spin. This was recorded 1978. So yeah, these new ones, I've listened to one or two, but not many. Because some of them are so clean, I figured I could get away without cleaning them and just spin them. There's another jazz album, Cal Jader. And this is called Breathe Easy, featuring Hank Jones and Shelly Manne. There's Cal. Cal's another guitar player. Vibe player. Billy Vibes. Alan Smith on trumpet. Hank Jones on piano. Monty Budwig on bass. Shelly Manne on drums. Recorded in 1977. Cal Jader. Piano player. I knew the name. I don't know that much about him, but I really this is one of the ones I played. Spun it yesterday, and really very mellow and just really nice. And it is Jimmy Rolls and Red Mitchell. I'm glad there is you. Again, Jimmy Rolls on piano, Red Mitchell on bass, Colin Bailey on drums, and Stacy Rolls on trumpet. On a really nice contemporary label, super clean. And nice jazz, like I said, very mellow, great piano playing, and Jimmy Rolls, wonderful. So real happy to pick that up. There they are. This is from 1980. What did I say? 1985. Recorded in Berkeley, 1985. Another one I picked up. The great, John Harford, You and Me at Home. It's okay. I played it once. Flying Fish Records, 1980. It's all right. It didn't blow me away. I wasn't like, oh my God, this is so great. It's not bad. I'll keep it. John Harford, great country-esque folk guitar player, singer, songwriter. On Flying Fish Records. What else can I tell you? It's fine. It's not bad. How about this? This is a guy I never even knew existed until a couple of weeks ago when I found one of his records at Goodwill and picked it up and loved it. And now I see his name. I grab it when I can. His name is Tony Trishka. He's an amazing banjo player. And this album, called Hill Country, from 1985 on Rounder, includes, along with him, Sam Bush, Jerry Douglas, Bella Fleck, Del McCrory, Mark O'Connor, Tony Rice, and just some of the best names in newgrass music around. And Tony Trishka, I got to give this a clean. And it's on the Rounder label, Rounder. Yeah, there's certain labels when I see, if the price is right, I always buy Rounder, Flying Fish, stuff like that. Price is right, I grab it. Love that country bluegrass kind of music. There he is, Tony Trishka. There's another name of another artist. Again, I didn't know him until last year when I saw one of his records at Goodwill, grabbed it, and now I'm a fan. And his name is C. Khan. This is his album, Unfinished Portraits. Another great guitar player. And I'm trying to see who plays with him on the Red Clay Ramblers play with him. Well, I don't really know them. But he's a great guitar player. Also on Flying Fish, the Red Flying Fish label. And like I said, from 1984. Another really great guitar player, C. Khan. This next guy is a guy I saw probably 1974 in New York City. He's been around forever. He does folk music. When I saw him in 74 in New York at a small club way downtown, he was doing real, what they now call world music, but it was way before it was called world music. And he's been involved with that kind of music, world music, classical music, show tunes he did, etc., etc. And it is David Amram. And this is his album, No More Walls, with Pepper Adams, Ramblin' Jack Elliott. So right there you have two very diverse kind of people in the record with him. And also on Flying Fish, which I love. This is from 1979. I guess when I found it, after I bought this, I realized, I looked it up and found out, originally released as a double album. This is a later repress as a single. But he has songs on here like Sao Paulo, Waltz from After the Fall. After the Fall was a play by Arthur Miller, I think. Pull My Daisy, which was a Jack Kerouac, Allen Ginsberg poem. And Tompkins Square Park Conscientious Expander, which is the big song, 13-minute song with Pepper Adams and all these other people on there. So looking forward to giving this a spin. It's going to be interesting music for sure. Not your run-of-the-mill stuff. Actually, none of this has been run-of-the-mill. This one I got because, again, I saw him, the first album I showed, Rye Cooter, he's the accordion player, and it's Flaco Jimenez. And this is a live in London album he put out with Peter Rowan on mandolin and vocals. Recorded, made live at the Half Moon, March 1984. UK pressing on Waterfront Records, which I'd never seen. Waterfront Records. San Antonio Sound. So Flaco is an amazing player. Not much of an accordion player, a listener, or a lover, but when he plays, it's something else. Really cool. And the last one is really a very interesting album. I've known about it, but I've never seen it. I saw it once, actually, but they wanted too much money for it. In 1970, the folk singer Phil Oakes had a concert at Carnegie Hall. And at that time, he was singing old protest songs. He was like the head of the whole protest song movement. And he comes out in Carnegie Hall in a gold lame nudie suit and did Elvis Presley medley, a Buddy Holly medley, and people in the fans were booing and carrying on. They were like, they want to hear the folk songs. It was a whole thing. The concert got cut short for some reason, for electrical reasons. The people had to empty out. He had to come back later that night, do a second performance. It's a very controversial show. Album only released in Canada, never in the United States. And this is Phil Oakes, gunfight at Carnegie Hall. With a gun in one hand, with a guitar in the other, he tamed a nation. Starring Phil Oakes. So on this one, he does some of his songs, regular songs. Mona Lisa, I Ain't Marching Anymore, Chords of Fame. But then he does a whole Buddy Holly medley. Not Fade Away, Think It Over, Oh Boy, Every Day, Not Fade Away. Then the second side is Pleasures of the Harbor, which is one of his songs. Tapes from California. And then there's a whole Elvis Presley medley. My Baby Left Me, Heartbreak Hotel, All Shook Up, Fool Such As I. So really interested to finally getting to hear this very controversial concert that Phil Oakes put on way back when in April 1970. So yeah, gunfight at Carnegie Hall. So that's what I got today for new records, or new for me. Okay, I appreciate people watching, taking the time out of their day to spend it with me. I appreciate all the new subscribers I've gotten. Thanks so much for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. If you like what you saw today, give me that thumbs up. And until next time, peace.